we have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics. Voter fraud. We have put together voter fraud. We have put together voter fraud, the most extensive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
Well, everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. It is beyond whacked out this Wednesday. It truly is. It's beyond whacked out. It's beyond just a little bit silly and crazy. It's past that. We've gone way past that now. So we're waiting for Uman to tune in, but that does not mean the show can't go on, and the show will, as it must. I'm telling you, folks, it's been a rough one, but here we go. I want to start with this. We now not only have congressional representatives in Washington, D.C., supporting Hamas, mass murder, the murder of children, the murder of unborn babies. We also have our country has enemies inside the wire, folks. That's a military term. They're inside the wire. That means they're inside our protected area. They're inside our home base. Now, we know who congressmen and women are, correct? Correct. Good. They have this thing called staffers. Staffers work for the congressmen and women. Staffers run errands. Staffers go get donuts. Staffers do as they're told. Staffers are not congressional representatives. They are not the bosses. Now, knowing that, staffers also have some very distinct privileges. One of which is they get health care that's better than any of you I could ever get. And they get it for life. And they get it free health care for life. Now, let's just pretend that we don't give a shit that they, by sucking up to some of the worst human beings in the country, get that benefit and many more. These staffers have now decided they're going to start making demands. So, today, pro-Hamas, which means pro-terror, pro-murder, pro-rape, pro-lie, pro-exaggerate, pro-bomb, pro-shoot, pro-cut the heads off of children, pro-Hamas staffers decided they were going to hold a demonstration, a protest. Where? On the Capitol steps. Why were they not met by the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police, FBI, Antifa, and other rogue agencies, and then have them infiltrated, and then have them commit acts of violence, and then start assaulting and beating the shit out of them and locking them up for fucking years, the way real Americans were on January 6th. Now, let's just set that aside, shall we? Set that aside. Not only did they get to have their fucking demonstration, they decided they were going to make demands. Yeah, where are the FBI agents? Well, guess what? They wore masks and hid their faces. Can't we just use eye recognition from here on up? Can't we know who the fuck they are? Oh, no. They were told, don't bring your phones to the protest. That way, you won't get in trouble. Folks, you fucking call them, and if they don't answer their phone, that means they're at the protest, you're fired. But of course, they try and pretend like, well, that made them anonymous. Right? They wore masks at a protest on the steps of our country's capital while serving Congress. Supposedly, they're serving themselves. Oh, I'm fucking pissed at these people. I'm tired of fucking hiding it, folks. I'm pissed off. These are some worthless piece of shit human beings. They're living off of every generous benefit that could be offered that we will never get. There is no, and I repeat, no military veteran that gets the fucking health insurance these people get. And retirements and other bit. It pisses me off. So they show up, have their protest, they call it, folks, they call it a demonstration. No, it's a fucking protest. And they make demands, folks. Folks, guess what? People who show up with a mask on and make demands, I call them fucking terrorists. And they do their demands while wearing a mask before they bomb people to death and murder people. That's what protesters, not protesters, but terrorists do. That is exactly what they do. I am fucking livid. I truly am livid. Mr. Uman, welcome to the show. I'm fucking pissed today, buddy. I hope everyone wakes the fuck up. I hope they wake up, because this is what we've got coming, folks. These people, that's it. You want to hear their fucking demands? I'll give you the demands. You want to hear what these clowns have to say? Hey, man, by the way, I need the Logitune went nuts, went bonkers. So I messed that up. I don't know what the hell happened. They changed their program. Anyways, these fucking staffers, right? In other words, people getting the best benefits on the planet. This is what they did. They came out and said, quote, "We demand our leaders speak up, call for a ceasefire and release of all hostages and an immediate de-escalation now." In other words, the terrorists, Hamas, in Gaza, they're getting their asses kicked and they don't like it. And so they're having their fucking mouthpieces who work for our congressmen speak for them. See, when you speak up for Hamas, you speak up and you give cover. You give aid and comfort to terrorism. That's a fucking crime, but that's what they're doing. Right? It's absolutely incredible. You bunch of fucking terrorists. Well, I'm going to read you some of their names. I'm tired. Over 100 different staffers decided they're going to hold this rally, this demonstration. Fuck them. Okay, this is what Bisan Abu Quaik wrote. Most of our bosses on Capitol Hill are not listening to the people they represent. We demand our leaders speak up, call for a ceasefire, a release of all hostages, and an immediate de-escalation now. Okay, most of our bosses on Capitol Hill are not listening to the people they represent. Well, we fucking knew that. But you staffers are not the people that the congressmen represent. America doesn't give a shit about Gaza and Hamas and the Palestinians because they don't know anything about it. The only people complaining are a bunch of propaganda influenced morons. That's it. Because they're not sharing both sides of the story. That Israel hates Gaza and Palestine, Gaza hates Israel. There's the fucking story. So they're going to start killing each other. And they've been doing it for thousands of years, period. But let me give you some more information. Let me give you some more. They try making it look like it's a peaceful protest. Well, they're making a demand. Now, when you make a demand is an ultimatum. An ultimatum says you do this or else. That's what fucking terrorists do. There is no demand without a consequence. There is no demand without a penalty for disobedience. Kind of like Joe Biden saying, "My patience is wearing thin." Oh, really now? You know, last time my mom said that, I was 14. And nothing happened because I was too big to be belted. Right? You want to say your patience is wearing thin? What are you going to fucking do? Right? That's not what's your demand? Now, let's continue. I'm already sick and tired of these fucking people. I really am. I've had it with them. Understand, folks, they're not our friends. They need to be fired. You want to make demands while getting every benefit regular Americans can't? I'm telling you. Get this. This guy's name is Jihad Abu Salim. Powerful moment as more than 100 congressional staffers walk out, uniting to demand laying over thousands of flowers to honor those who were killed. They're honoring terrorists who were killed. That's who they're honoring, folks, on the on the Congress steps, Capitol Hill steps. There's 435 congressmen. 435 congressmen and 100 senators. That's 535 official jackasses in Washington. Yeah, I know some of them are good. 535 jackasses. And at least, all of them have at least 10 staffers. At least. Someone prove me wrong, damn it. Is it 20? How many fucking staffers these people have? You think one of these guys does a damn thing for himself? I'm sure they have a staffer to get their clothes, someone to iron and starch their fucking socks, someone to go buy their favorite toilet paper, someone to get their breakfast, their lunch, their dinner, their coffee, someone to go talk to the other congressmen for them so they don't have to. Let's just say there's 10. 10 times 535. That's 5,350 staffers, and 100. Fire them. Bam, you're gone. Fuck you. You don't get to complain. Yeah. Jihad Abu Salim. Sorry, buddy. Done. Fired. Bisan Abu Quake. Sorry. Done. Fired. You want to put a name to your stupidity? Done. Fired. Here's another one. This fucking guy. Remy Kanazi. Done. If you support this shit. Fired. I know how to solve problems. The enemy is inside the wire. They're inside our border. They're inside our states. They're inside everything, folks. They truly are. So staffers make demands and they speak for the right. If they don't like their jobs, quit. If they make demands, fire them. If they refuse to answer their phones, trying to hide their identities, you don't get to participate in a terrorist fucking rally and make terrorist demands. All right, that's story number 1 for today. Let's move over to Ukraine. By the way, you can get your questions in. We're going to talk about your stuff on this Beyond fucking Whacked Out Wednesday. And by the way, I'm not violent. I'm not violent, and I'm not violent. I'm not like these leftist people who make demands and then, are so full of hatred that they go through with them. I'm just pissed because apparently this country's toast. We're going to civil unrest. We're going to partisan conflict. We're going to have some sort of segregation between blue and red states. It's going to happen. There's no fucking doubt in my mind. Now, over in Ukraine, Zelensky, the Z-Man, fired General Zaluzhny because he sucked and his people are just getting slaughtered against Russia. So the Z-Man, the little light in the loafers, skinny jeans wearing, butt puppet of the wealthy, the leader of Ukraine, he fired General Zaluzhny. And now, folks, General Zaluzhny's aide, his number one helper, oh yeah, they have staff too, was murdered. How? Well, he had a gift delivered to him. It was a gift bomb. And it's been released that the gift bomb was a gift from the GRU of Ukraine, essentially Ukraine's CIA. And by the way, expect to start seeing this sort of stuff coming to the United States of America. We've got terrorists in Congress, terrorists in colleges, terrorists, elected to Congress as well as serving as staffers. Why not have crazy ass Eastern European terrorists running around with Molotov cocktails? Unbelievable. Just what is going on is unfucking believable. The vice president of customer operations of a voting machine company, guess what? Said that, votes were flipped and that, quote, it was a human error. Someone from our team programmed the election. Gee whiz, sorry about that. Sorry we fucked up the election. Sorry, accidents happen. Folks, it's a lie. It's not a human error. It was intentional. It's a lie. It's a sham. It's fraud. And the election should be held again. Okay. You admit your machine flipped votes? Great. No more machines. Show up to vote. Here's a paper fucking ballot. Put a mark on who you want. You put 2 marks, go get another ballot. Put that one ballot right through a fucking shredder. Make 1 mark. That's what you get. Folks, our election is being stolen right now. We're not even at the presidential election of 2024, and they're already showing us that the voting machines can be flipped. They can be programmed with human error. It's not an error. It's intentional. And they can steal the election. The Republicans in many races got their asses handed to them over the last few days. But don't worry, right? We have the best election fraud team and scheme all, right? That's what Joe Biden said. They got the best ever. You bet. The election can be held again. Hey, you just stay in office an extra couple weeks while we have a real election. And then we'll find out. It won't hurt for people to stay in office a couple extra weeks and have an election that is honest, that is true, and that reflects the will of the real people. Unbelievable, folks. Unfucking believable what's going on. By the way, I'm going to touch the racist third rail. Sharika Soul. Sharika, S-H-A-R-I-K-A, last name Soul, S-O-A-L. She's a black woman, a black American woman. And I'm going to be quoting her over the next couple of months, I think, because she has opened up and she's given it to everybody. She says, Black America needs to come to terms with how we ended slavery and drop the Oppression Act. You know what I say? We need a fucking mic drop moment. 1 word, bam. She's absolutely correct. It's time to drop. Just drop it. It's time to drop the Oppression Act. Good for her. It would be good for America. And it would be good for the people to quit playing this fucking game. Period. Done with it. Now, I said that there were fucking terrorists in the wire. Let me give you some more. An ally organization of Hamas. Who is Hamas? They're terrorists. They're good buddies with Hezbollah. They're good buddies with ISIS and ICE. And they're good buddies with Al-Qaeda. And they're all a bunch of jihadi, Muslim, wacko religious freaks who will kill everyone that they don't like. So, there's a story by a guy named Paul Sperry at Real Clear Wire. And it's come out that the Council on American Islamic Relations, CAIR, C-A-I-R, Council on American Islamic Relations, has for 30 years, right? They all work together. Right? CAIR is supposed to be a Muslim civil rights and advocacy organization. But what are they doing? Right? They've been operating inside this country. They're an ally of terrorists. They are not what they say they are. Surprise! Fucking surprise. I mean, I'm not surprised. Council on American Islamic Relations. No. Hamas's biggest ally in America for 30 years has been this organization. Yet they're allowed to exist. 30 years. Clinton presidency, Bush presidency, Obama presidency, and even Trump presidency, as well as the Biden presidency. And they have not kicked this fucking organization out of this country for supporting terrorism, for being friends with. Now, they claim that they're good guys, right? Oh, no. See, you're misunderstanding, John. CAIR's job is the Council on American Islamic Relations. Let me tell you what the Council on American Islamic Relations says. Once we translate it from Arabic. All Arab peoples must go out on Sunday, October 8th, and every day in demonstrations in support of the Palestinians and in rejection of normalization with the occupier and the apartheid regime of Israel. What does that sound like? Sounds like they support Hamas, doesn't it? Why is this organization allowed to operate on the soil? Why does the FBI not arrest them? Why not? And if they're an international organization, then why isn't the CIA doing something? Right? Remember, parents are terrorists, according to Merrick Garland, which is the will and pleasure he serves under Joe Biden. We're the terrorists. Hell, under George W. Bush, they came up with the Patriot Act, and they came up with looking at Americans, homegrown terrorism. You want homegrown? They've been growing that shit with care in America for 30 years plus. Let me give you some more, folks. Let me give you some more. The absolutely rabid, foaming at the mouth, vicious, Jew-hating Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib. The House finally voted to censure her. All that is a piece of paper that says you're naughty and we think you should stop it. They're not going to remove her from office or expel her. They should. Right? She's been promoting Hamas and the annihilation of Jews and the nation of Israel. I don't cheer for Russia to destroy everyone. I don't cheer for Ukraine to destroy everyone. I don't cheer for fucking shit. These people cheer for it. Well, get this. All the other Democrats, after Rashida Tlaib was censured, decided they would rally with her and cheer for her. So if she cheers on terrorism and they're cheering her on, what does that tell you? Some of them more or less, some louder than others, some extremely fucking loud, are also in support of terrorism. Terrorism. Terrorism, folks. And it's not going to get better. They finally did it. They couldn't get done what they needed to get done with Antifa. They couldn't get done what they needed to get done with BLM. They couldn't get done what they needed to get done in schools by brainwashing children. Nope. They couldn't get it done by getting kids to, cut their own genitals off. I mean, they'll go out and protest and they'll act stupid and this and that and the other, but they couldn't get it done. Instead, they said, fuck it, let's just bring in a bunch of terrorists. That'll fucking fix it, right? That'll do it. You bet. Oh, there's more, folks. It's coming. Are you ready for this? These same congressional cocksuckers, the Democrat Party, and I'm sure some rhinos also, are urging, compelling, demanding, I'm sure they're making demands to Joe Biden to make it so thousands of Palestinians can come into the United States for, asylum, John. Oh, that makes it okay. Yeah, there's a war over there. We need to help them. We need to protect them. We need to give them amnesty. We need to help them out. We need to have compassion and mercy. Like the mercy Hillary Clinton has for you. She wants to put you in a fucking camp and make you get your brain right. Or what, Hillary? What's the penalty if we don't go to your special learn how to think camp? What's your special offer you have for us? What's the penalty if we don't take it? What's the penalty if we go to your re-education camp and it doesn't work? Are you going to kill us? These fucking people, folks. These congressional Democrats, these liberal scumbag Democrats want to bring these people into our country who are promising that they want to destroy America and Israel. It's not just Israel and it's not just Jews. It's everyone in America. They want to destroy it. They're working for our government in D.C., taking all the money and benefits they can and then bitching the whole way. And now all of these Congress people, they should be the fucking ridiculous idiots in Congress, the staffers, should be congratulating their congressional Democrat bosses for doing this, for telling Joe Biden, hey, you should let in all kinds of Palestinians. Folks, I can't think of a stupider fucking idea than that. Even Egypt, the country of Egypt and the country of Jordan, who both border Gaza and Israel, they 100% refuse to allow a single one of them into their countries. And they are Muslim nations. They're Muslims. And they don't want these Palestinians. Why not? Why don't they want them in their countries? Geez, can you think of any reason why they don't want these people in their countries? I'm sure this guy right here is a doctor. I think the one in the middle behind is a brain surgeon. The one on the right, yes, he is a NASA scientist. And if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be able to get rockets into space. Those are the guys that we really need brought over to our country, because everyone in Palestine has a large brain pan, very smart, and they work really hard. They work 29 hours a day, 51 days a week. They're the best people. No, they're not. Why the fuck would we bring them here? Folks, did you know that the leaders of Hamas have a very large fortune? How much do you think Hamas has? What do you think they're worth? 10 million? 50 million? What do you think Hamas is worth? Well, I've got a news story here that says they're worth $11 billion. They have an $11 billion fortune. And they live the most lavish lifestyles over in the Middle East. While the people that they supposedly want to free face the most desperate lives, according to Hamas, in Gaza. I didn't know terrorism paid this well. I made the wrong career choice. Now, is the news article wrong? Is it not 11 billion? It's 12 billion, or it's only $1 billion. That's right. How typical of people who run a government. And Gaza and Hamas is a government, but they're terrorists, meaning they're the most vicious, insane, filthy, nasty, awful. Think about it. They're dictators. What do dictators do? Anything they want. What do dictators do? They kill anyone they want. They take all the people's money they want. They blame others, right? So the terrorist leaders of Hamas, they take in money from around the world, kind of like, the Vice President Kamala Harris. Her daughter is raising money for the people of Gaza, and she's going to send over, I don't know how many millions. And those millions will be taken and sent to the people of Gaza. Who is Gaza's government? It's Hamas. So that money's going to go to Hamas. They're going to put it in their bank account. That's how they got and have amassed $11 billion by all these fucking idiots sending money and help and this and that over. And these people take it. Meanwhile, their foot soldiers are building rockets and bombs out of pipes and shit. It's unbelievable. It truly is. Now, does that affect you? Well, I don't know. Let me tell you about this story that just popped up. It's a feel-good story about American caring and Americans giving a shit. Some non-Jewish Americans. That's right, folks. They're not Jewish, and they are Americans, and they're also cowboys. That's right. Real-life cowboys. They still exist. In fact, I know cowboys. The ones I knew had, bigger hearts than brains, but they're still good guys. 4 cowboys from Montana and Arkansas said this. They got a quote. "We heard Israel is in trouble, so we came to help." And they got together and they flew over to JFK Airport in New York City, and they're heading to Israel. Now we got 4 dudes wearing Wrangler jeans, wearing cowboy hats and shit-kicking boots. They're going to be in Israel. How are they going to help? So we came to help. How are you 4 guys going to help? Are these 4 fucking cowboys going to go and kick the ever-loving shit out of Hamas? Or did they just paint a bigger target on, their own heads and the heads of any hicks, hillbillies, rednecks, cowboys, country boys, right? Cowboys have big hearts, folks. I love it. But the Muslims over there, these jihadi Muslims, are going to be like, cowboys bad. Cowboys come over here to try and kill us and oppress us and join in the Israeli apartheid. These American cowboys are bad. Well, now, I do happen to believe this, and I believe it with all sincerity, folks, is that if these ridiculous Hamas supporters, pro-Palestinians, head out into rural America and start making trouble, they will be fucking greased very quickly by country folk. But still, you don't normally know that a problem has arrived until the problem has arrived and gunshots have been fired and people have been killed. And I hope, folks, that these cowboys are not going to make the lives of Americans even more difficult, because they're going to stand out. They're going to stand out like a white man in Mecca over in Israel. Unbelievable, folks. Now, this is important. I'm out of time, Lou, man. I'm out of time. How many comments do we have down here? Where are we at? What do we got going, Mr. Uman? How many questions am I facing? I want to plan this shit out right. Oh, thanks for sending that longitude. Thanks. 8. We got a lot of stuff already lined up. Well, I'm going to go into this really quickly. Stolen elections, part 1. We've just been holding these elections. And guess what? Republicans got their asses kicked all over the country. But then we have this. In the Flathead, Montana County Elections Department, they had a big oops. The elections department sent out the wrong ballots to, quote, an undetermined number of voters. There have been hundreds and hundreds of complaints nationwide of massive voter irregularities and vote fraud and absolute cheating and lying. Kind of like the voting machine company saying, yeah, we had some human errors. Sorry. Ha ha. Right. Well, here's some more. Stolen elections part 2 in Maricopa County. Yeah, you've heard that name in Arizona, where they stole the presidential results and fucked over President Trump in 2020. Well, they have what's called a, quote, recurring nightmare because they had an election conference. Well, the cameras went off. Voting locations closed early. Voters who called Maricopa County were sent to locations that were closed. In other words, they were lied to by the government and they couldn't go vote. It is going to happen again this fall, folks. Even though Joe Biden is losing in the polls, they'll make sure he wins at the ballot box. Don't expect there to be a red tsunami, a red wave to take back the country. It ain't going to happen, folks. It ain't that kind of a movie where we get all upset and flustered and they cave. They give in. They're like, yeah, you real Americans, you talk tough, and we gave up. It's not going to happen, folks. Nuh-uh. But there was one Democrat who lost. Porn star Susanna Gibson. That's right. She's a porn star. She's very famous. Her videos have gone viral all over Pornhub and the world of porn. She is the hot housewife experience lady. And she went down in a very tight house race. I don't know how tight and how far she went down, but she lost. The Republican won that race. Means they couldn't lie and cheat hard enough to get her into office. Unbelievable, folks. Unbelievable. Now, Mr. Uman, let's do this. Let's have some fun. What do you guys want to talk about? What's on your mind? I hope you felt the passion and energy and love of America and the disgust I have for the enemies of America in our borders. Who is up first? Who wants to talk? Welcome to John's shop. It says, I really want to encourage everyone to get any books on the skills you may feel you are in lack of or weaken. The printer will be stopping soon, says Charles Gentry. I'll tell you what, my printer isn't. Get lots of paper, get lots of ink, and your printer will be fine. But truly, folks, I think what Charles means is that books that contain information on, well, subsistence, survival, how to improvise, how to adapt, how to modify things, how to get by, how to live on your own without the government. Those types of books on all skills, how to cook, how to build something, how to fix machinery. They're going to take this shit away from us, folks. They want AI to control everything. But they need to destroy America. And this is, I think, very important. They need to destroy America. And the way they're going to do that is by destroying America, by bringing these freaks into this country to join the other freaks that are homegrown. Who are the homegrown terrorists? Take a look around. They're not hard to find. They truly aren't. All right, Mr. Uman, who wants to step up next? And it is name redacted. He says, staffers are a finger on the hand of the deep state. Staffers, yeah, I don't care. Get them out of here. Guys are done. I don't know why staffers get everything they get. I just don't get it. I truly don't get it. How can they be that important? In my book, they're nobodies. Nobodies, period. They're absolute nobodies. Thank you, name redacted. I agree. I absolutely agree totally. What a freaking day, I tell you. George Washington spinning in his grave. All right, Mr. Uman, what do we got next? Chin Music says, if that means the work of Congress slows down, that's a net positive. It truly is. But, that's just it, Chin. They didn't give us a consequence. When you make a demand, you have to have a consequence for noncompliance, for disobedience. If they demanded Congress do something that they want, what happens if Congress doesn't do what they want? That's what I was waiting on. Truly. That's what I was waiting on. It didn't happen. So was it just a political stunt there? Was it to see what America's appetite would be for yet another terrorist supporting bunch of people, Americans, supposedly, right? I don't get it. I do not get it. I don't understand why America supported Ukraine for so long. Well, we were told we needed to until we found out what? That they're a bunch of Nazis, truly. That it's a money laundering scheme, truly. That it is a filthy, anyways, enough. Yeah. Congress working. I think those are, that's a contradiction in terms. They're there sucking us dry, right? The tree of liberty is starving to be satisfied, if you understand what I'm saying. And Chin Music says this, and they're fucking cowards to boot. Show your face, you little Bolshevik pukes. They're Bolshevik terrorist pukes at that. Mr. Music, that's what I think of them. Look at what they're doing and how they're doing it. Only terrorists show up and make a demand wearing a mask. There's no mask here. This is what I look like. This is not Photoshop. This is what I look like. I'm a real American. And real Americans and real veterans and real patriots, we're here. This is our country. Come and take it. And that's what they're doing, folks. They're showing up and they're telling us, we're going to take your land. We're going to take your house. We're going to take your jobs. We're going to take your wealth. We're going to take your companies. We're going to take it all from you. That's what these communists think they're going to do. And they're in the process of doing just that. I wish they would show their faces, Jim. Years ago, I said the Antifa creeps shouldn't be allowed to protest without, while wearing masks. And I think all those little cute college girls and the ugly ones who are wearing masks, they want to make sure that when they're done with college, that they can find some man that's going to marry them. And she wants to make sure that he doesn't and the rest of the world doesn't know that she was a little terrorist supporting Antifa bitch. So they wear masks. Same with the men. They wear masks because ultimately at some time, corporations might say, you know what? We don't want to hire these little cretins. Whoever's involved in Antifa, they're done. When it's turning out this way now, folks, just because all of the Jewish bankers, the Jewish business owners, the Jewish, whatever you want to call it, they're mad. Now they're like, hey, we're not going to hire any of these anti-Semite student organization people. No. Well, you want to worry about just the Jewish community? Well, then you can stand on your own. I care about all of America, except those who hate America. And that separates the line. That's a hard line right down the middle. If you love America and you love our Constitution, or you don't. I don't play this tribe game bullshit. I don't say white America only. I don't say black America only. I don't say any of that shit. I say love freedom, love America. Put everyone else who hates America on the other side. That's your BLM. That's your Antifa. That's your critical race theory. That's your jihadi Muslim types. That's your globalist business owners. They hate America. All right, Chin Music. Thank you, brother. Who else is up? I'm fucking pissed and bent as hell. H12 checks in. Heidi. It says, you can only play both sides of the fence for so long before everyone is mad at you. That's right. You play both sides of the fence and piss off both sides, then you have everyone after you. These Democrats, folks, they already have the jihadis against them. Now their congressional staffers are saying, you're not doing what we want. The American people want what they want, and we're going to tell you what it is because we're your staffers. Democrats have us mad at them. All of real America-loving Americans hate them. And, you know, if they don't toe the line for homosexuals, the homosexuals hate them. If they don't toe the line for what? Educators, the educators hate them. If they don't toe the line for name it, then that group now gets to hate them. Everyone now hates the Democrats. But they're voting for them. That's true. Anyways, Heidi, that's a great point. Thank you very much. Mr. Uman, let's keep this going. Let's keep the, shall we say, passionate discussion about how bad America is going to go down in flames. Like we said before, we're in shit, it's the fan light. We're going to get all the way down at some point. There's a lot of work to do down there, folks. It's a lot of dirty work we've got to deal with and get through, and it's going to take a long time. Name Redacted says, hey, John, I'm giving you the official heads up. Keep an eye on Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. A new mayor was elected yesterday. She will be trying her best to upstage Prickster from Illinois and Gretchen the Grinch in Michigan. Yeah, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania has a new mayor, and she wants to be every bit as fucked up as Beetlejuice in Chicago or as bad as Gavin Newsom is for the entire state of California. More socialists, more Democrats, folks. Go read from cover to cover, Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. And you will see the depths and depravity that these socialist scumbags will go to control everything and destroy everything. Now, that book is a departure from reality in a lot of ways. Because there is no mega corporation good guys out there. They're all working hand in hand with the destructive government types. And I think that's where the book separates. Because in her book, in Atlas Shrugged, Ayn Rand has stupid government on one side and stupid socialist people. And on the other side, the ultra-rich industrialists who love freedom and their wealth. And they don't want to give it to the government. Well, I think she forgot about this concept known as fascism. And we have both government and mega corporations working together to destroy our country so they can create something new with their great reset. So here we are. Thank you, Name Redacted, very much. We'll all be keeping an eye on Philadelphia. That's a great term. That's almost as good as a tranifesto, which is a trans manifesto if you want to murder people in Kentucky or anywhere else for that matter. Mr. Uman, where are we rolling next, man? What do you got? Holy shit. Michael Smith, Abraham there, says, next comment is in regards to the chemical plant explosion in Shepherd, Texas today. Bring it on. Bring it on. I have some comments about that as well. Charles Gentry says, when the government tells you to, quote, shelter in place, it's probably because they don't want to have to look too hard for the bodies. That's a little bit of cynicism from the cynicist himself, Charles Gentry. Now, what is he talking about? in Shepherd, Texas, a chemical plant, folks. There was a massive explosion at it. Kaboom! And when chemicals explode, they combine into compounds, kind of like they did in Ohio, if you remember that. What was the name of that city in Ohio, by the way? Oh, man, go ahead and put that up on the screen. Yeah, so when the government says shelter in place, they want you to stay still. They don't want you to get away from it. Folks, residents were told, ordered shelter in place. I'm not saying that this explosion in Texas was a false flag. I'm not saying it wasn't done intentionally. I'm not saying it was terrorism. But I want to ask you, when the government tells you to shelter in place, what does that mean? Yes, the place where the train wreck happened and the explosion of chemicals on the train occurred was in East Palestine, Ohio. Explosions in East Palestine, Ohio. Explosions in Palestine, Israel. Isn't that what they call predictive programming? Isn't that a conspiracy theory right there, Mr. Uman? I just had to bring that up, and I wanted the words on the screen there. Anyways, I have a question for you. If you live near a chemical plant, do you have an NBC gas mask? A gas mask that's rated for nuclear, biological, and chemical? Sheltering in place means, well, lay down in your living room and prepare to die. Whether it's a shooter, a terrorist, whether it's a chemical weapon, or whether it's a biological weapon, just shelter in place. We need you to stay in your house, locked inside, and we'll send trucks by. We'll send trucks by to pick up your corpses later. Uman says gas mask on and heading upwind. I'm not a big fan of what's going on around this world, folks. Chemical plant explodes. Shelter in place, because that'll make you safe. Yeah, there's a nuclear bomb going off. Get under your desk in school. That'll save you. There's an earthquake going on. Get under your desk. There's a nuclear bomb going off. Get under your desk. That's the same as shelter in place. Unfucking believable, folks. You got a chemical plant near you, a petrochemical plant, anything. You're living in a big city. Do you have a gas mask for you and everyone else and extra filters? Do you want to breathe oxygen or breathe chemicals? Unfucking believable. Anyways, Mr. Uman, where else are we going? Chin Music is back, and he says, John, her race was back and forth and up and down, leading to a climactic finish. He's talking about Susanna Gibson, the porn star nurse wife who was running for Congress. Yeah, there was a lot of back and forth. There were a lot of ins and outs to that race, a lot of ups and downs. The finish was anticlimactic for her. That's right. She doesn't get to come to office. I'll take your jokes and run with it. Okay, thank you, Mr. Uman. Now, speaking of people with not so hot moves, right? I covered the Army commercials this morning. I'm not going to go back down that road. Folks, these left-wing wackos and these pro-Palestinian wackos, they're all cut from the same cloth. And these idiots showed up at a congressional hearing, folks, and interrupted it, shut it down, put on a fucking scene. There was a congressional hearing on anti-Semitism in college campuses. So guess what? Pro-Palestinian, pro-Gaza, pro-Hamas, pro-terrorist people showed up to shut it down. And they interrupted everything, screaming, "Free Palestine!" and "End the occupation!" I don't think Israel is in Gaza. They're separate places. I don't think Israel has tanks and the IDF, the Israeli army, rolling through their streets. I don't think they're occupying. So what is this occupation they speak of? That the Israelis occupy Jerusalem and Tel Aviv? Isn't it the Israelis who are supplying energy, electricity, power to Gaza? Isn't it Israel? Is Israel supplying fresh drinking water to Gaza? I don't know. Just asking for a friend. Is that how Israel is hurting them, by supplying them power and water and food and everything they need? I think, or is the rest of the Muslim world providing that stuff? Is the $11 billion that Hamas has amassed, is that being used to feed and water and provide electricity? It's just all unbelievable. They want to shut down. Isn't interfering and trying to stop a government function, isn't that a crime? Right? Like the January 6th protesters. Oh, that's you tried stopping an official government. Yeah, you need to go to jail, folks. Unbelievable. It's just going to continue to get worse. Are you fucking prepared? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and a plan. Because they're not going to stop. We need to keep fighting them, yes. We need to yell in their faces when they yell in ours. We need to defend ourselves when we're attacked, and we need to make sure that the bad guys pay, and I mean pay, for their crimes. And here is a criminal here. Hillary Clinton. She's a criminal. She should have been locked up. Trump fucked up. You did. You should have got a real attorney general and clean fucking house in the FBI and got this bitch out of here. But don't worry, the FBI is full of salad tossing ding-dongs who go to rainbow-loving pride parades to recruit more people to join them in their quest to rainbow the USA with FBI bullshit. So forget that getting fixed. Hillary Clinton decided to compare President Trump to Hitler. They sure did. Right? This is what Hillary said. She said, Hitler was duly elected, right? And so all of a sudden, somebody with those tendencies, the dictatorial, the authoritarian tendencies, would be like, okay, we're going to shut this down. We're going to throw these people in jail. And they usually don't telegraph that. This is what she told all of the bitches on The View. She said, Trump is telling us what he intends to do. Take him at his word. The man means to throw people in jail who disagree with him. Shut down legitimate press outlets. Do what he can that literally undermines the rule of law and our country's values. What a fucking hypocrite. And she is completely 100% telling us what it is the Democrats do. They say Biden was duly elected, but he wasn't. He was fucking cheated. And he is acting like a dictator, standing up on the stage, screaming and yelling, red lights flashing, saying, my patience is wearing thin, and you're going to lose your benefits. I'm going to take everything away from you so you do what I say. Sound a little authoritarian, don't you think? Authoritarian tendencies, Hillary? Like she has any fucking room to speak? And what did Biden do? What did the Democrats do? They want to shut down businesses that don't agree with them. Here she is saying that Trump says we're going to shut this down, right? We're going to throw these people in jail because they don't agree with me. What does Hillary want to do? Throw people in re-education camps. Literally. Trump hasn't said that. What he said is he's going to throw criminals in jail. Criminals, people who commit crimes. It's not about people who disagree with them. It's people who are committing crimes. Like these election fraudsters out here committing election crimes. Shut down legitimate press outlets. Is that what Trump said he's going to do? What has the left been doing? Shutting down legitimate press outlets. This right here, you're watching a legitimate press outlet. I have to come to you under the guise of satire, right? Because they don't consider this press. Only legitimate press is press that agrees with Hillary. If you don't agree with Hillary, then you're illegitimate, and therefore you don't get free speech. Because Hillary says there's a limit to free speech. Who's the fucking authoritarian, dictatorial bitch now? Who is undermining the rule of law? The First Amendment, they want to shut it down. The Second Amendment, they want to take it away. The Fourth Amendment, no protection, no privacy. The Fifth Amendment, nothing is sacred. The Seventh Amendment, no due process. Right? No due process, cruel and unusual punishment, concentration camps where you're going to get your mind right, work camps to get the Make America Great people out, throw America, make America Greaters in Guantanamo Bay. That's what the left wants. Hillary is a lying sack of shit. And she's also broadcasting to the world exactly what she does. Right? Joe Biden, his attorney general, his Department of Justice has jailed more than 1,000 January 6ers for nonviolent infractions, not felonies, folks, nonviolent infractions, while they let people do grand theft in stores daily and no problem there. Right? Fat ass Fannie Willis, the DA in Fulton County, fucking Georgia, has indicted Trump and 18 others on conspiracy charges. She criminalized the First Amendment. Her conspiracy charge that they said there was election fraud. Right? She says that because Trump asked his supporters to watch One America News and RSBN, that he sought to silence everyone else. Right? It's ridiculous. Folks, we're witnessing the takedown of America by these fucking people while they lie their ass off. Let me tell you what other people say in response to her, right? She is describing Democrats to a T. You bet. Democrats, the party of projection. What I want you to know, folks, is there is no way to nicely win this. It's not going to happen. This country is going to go full violent. Are you prepared? Right? Now, I also want you to know that it's not just me that thinks like this and talks like this. It's not just you. We are not unusual. You and I are not unusual. We're not the exception. We're the norm. And it doesn't matter if you're white or black or any other color. It doesn't matter if you're man or woman, and there's only men and women. It doesn't matter. If you're an American and you love freedom, you are the norm. All these people are fucking sick in the head. And when Joe's polls go down, they drag out the whore of Babylon, according to blah, blah, blah. She's called by Peacham's Dentures the Butcher of Benghazi. John Galt, funny name to have. These are comments against Hillary, the Wicked Witch of the West Wing. Right? Here's what Skip Breakfast reminded us. That Kankles, Hillary, Rodham, Clinton said, quote, if that bastard wins, we're all going to hang. That's what she said about Trump. You bet. Right? It is unbelievable. And everyone knows who she is, and they're speaking up. Don't be afraid to speak up for yourself. The more of us they silence and quiet down, the more they can sound like they're the authorities and that, well, they're correct and you are bad. Don't let them get away with that. Nope. I tell you, folks, it's on. Right? You stand up to her and you get Seth Rich. If we all stand up to her, hey. It's incredible, folks. These people have no shame. They know no shame, and they are unlimited in what they're willing to do to this country. Are you prepared? Right? She doesn't like you. She doesn't like Hillary. I bet if she could, she would Seth Rich him. I bet if she could, she would Vince Foster him. It's incredible the amount of anger that Hillary gets, the Hildebeest, when she opens her fucking pie hole. Right? Hillary accusing Trump and accusing us of everything that the anti-American Democrats are doing. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What do you think? Am I wrong on all this? Should I not care that Congress and their staffers support Hamas terrorism? Should we not worry that they want to bring thousands of Palestinians to this country when other Muslim nations absolutely refuse to take any of them? Am I wrong when we point out all these people wanting to destroy America and take our rights away from us? They can't take our rights away from us, folks. They can't. They cannot take them. All they can do, folks, is fool you into believing that your rights don't exist and that the government has the authority to take them. That's it. That's the best they can do, is trick you into not exercising your rights. And they can also trick you into not exercising your duties. And when a tyrant or tyrants or a tyrannical government violates our rights, refuses to accept admonishment and change its ways, then we have both a right and a duty to correct the government. And if elections don't work, then there'll have to be something else that is tried instead. I'm not calling for an insurrection or violence or a revolution. What I'm saying is that there's only one way out of this, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Where do you stand? It's a good question. Where do you stand? What are you going to do about it when the time comes? And you'll know when the time comes. You sure will. Well, by the way, in Germany, they're saying that the AfD party, the Populist People's Party, the Trump party of Germany, is now considered a radical right-wing extremist group. They're doing the same thing the Democrats did here. They're labeling people who are representing the people and the German will as the bad guys. That's what they do, folks. They label us the bad guys, and then they claim to have the high ground. Nasty, nasty, nasty. It's been a wise ass Wednesday. Are you prepared? Are you prepared? Folks, chance favors the prepared mind is yours.